Hello everyone, my name is Agent M, and welcome to another video after a long time. Um, well, I have something small to show you, just a few data packs I created, I guess. So, there was a few things bothering me while playing vanilla Minecraft. I don't have a lot of time on hand, so I like to play the game at a bit of a faster pace, so I decided to make a few tools for myself at least to make the game a bit more fun, I guess. So the first data pack I want to show you is a rather fun one. It is the magic lead, which can be crafted using a smithing table. And if you can guess what it does, well, there it is. Left click a mob to capture. So literally, you can left click a mob to capture. So I want this fox, I left click it, boom, and it drops a fox spawn egg. And it will contain all the data that's on that fox. So if you spawn it again, it's exactly the same fox. And you can see it even stacks because the data happens to be the same. But if I find some other mob, like, hey, this donkey, and I want to capture it, and also it works completely in survival, so I can just bloop, grab this donkey. It doesn't take any damage, it's only visual, just so it works the way it does. But yeah, you can just place the donkey again, capture the donkey. And yeah, okay, this is infinite use, magic lead. There is of course the option to just give it durability or to consume it upon use, but that's of course something you can change yourself. For my purposes, I enjoyed having this, yeah, being an infinite use item. So let's try to find some more animals to capture, like this fox, for example, running away from me. Um, as you can see, it has actually an item on it. Let's go just in creative, just so it's easier. So I think this one has an item. No, does not have an item. But if I drop it an item, so like some berry or something, he likes berries, right? Is he gonna capture the berries, or is he still scared? Alright, so he grabbed the berry, and if I capture him now, you can see he doesn't stack with the other ones. And I can place him down, and there's the berry again. So you can actually just capture the fox with an item in its mouth, and it will just work like that. Furthermore, it will work with any other passive mobs. So these sheep, for example, they have a little bit of different data on them, so they don't stack, of course. This is the brown sheep that I just captured, and you can see it, yeah, it contains all the data of that mob. If I wanted to capture something like bees, which can already be captured by just, um, getting the hive using traditional methods, it's actually not possible to capture these mobs with the lead. This is to prevent, vanilla behavior from not being useful anymore. So you can't capture mobs that can already be captured, such as axolotls and fish, because you can use buckets, or beehives, because you can use beehives, of course, bees, because you can use beehives. And there is also snow golems and iron golems you can just create in the world, so there's no point in capturing them, so that's why it's not possible to capture those. However, it's possible, of course, to capture villagers, so have fun with that. There is a whole list of mobs you can catch and a whole list you cannot catch. You can just check it into the data pack. But it should work fine as is. Yeah. So anytime you are going around and you want to capture a mob, you just craft this lead and you can just capture all the mobs you want with it. If you do not own a cat, if you do own a cat, you can also capture it. If you do not own a cat like this one, yeah, you cannot capture it. It will not take any damage again. It's just visual. So yeah, this one actually has an item, I think. Yeah, it does. Ah, come on, capture it. There we go. Yeah, so this one also has this item attached to it. So yeah, that is the first one. It's pretty simple, pretty cool little magic lead. And if you are in creative and you want to just quickly give it to yourself, you can also call the function. Um, it's not a function actually, it's a loot table. You can give yourself the loot from item magic lead, and there it is. And yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but here's the second item in the list, which is pretty interesting, honestly. It is a barrel, and an enchanting bottle again to make a magic barrel. Now a magic barrel is not an ordinary barrel because it's a magic barrel. And let's get a few components so make it easier for myself to demonstrate this. And if you see from the items I'm getting, you can kind of guess what I'm about to make here. So let's just make a very simple example. I like to have cauldrons as well, but you can just place down a chest and a hopper and throw in items, right? So that's just how you are used to it. So let's just grab a few items like this wildflowers and dandelions and yeah, let's just get rid of all the spawn eggs real quick. There we go. So yeah, let's get some grass and some grass. Here we go. So we have a few items, right? So a regular hopper just picks up all the items and puts it in the chest. You can make item filters. It's a bit tricky, and usually those item filters only work for one specific item. It's a lot of a hassle to set up, so I tried to make the item filters a bit easier by adding a magic barrel. As you can see, this magic barrel always has its hole on the top, and below you want to put a empty block or a cauldron or something that does not block the hopper, but also yeah, it should also just be allowing items in it. And I like cauldrons because items can be in it and won't like spit out to the sides, and the hopper can still pick them up. And yeah, so you can see here is a mode, and you can click on this how many times you want to change the mode. And I think there might be a bug there. So normally that should just give me the items. Okay, I will have to fix that. But basically, maybe in survival. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, well, I'll fix that later, but that's not important. You can just change the mode to reject, and this will reject everything on the list, or you can say it accept, and it will accept everything on the list. So if I say accept wildflowers and accept dandelions, then I can, for example, throw some wildflowers in there and dandelions, and it will be hoppered through. Basically, they will fall through the barrel, come into the cauldron, get picked up by the hopper, and oh, there they are. It's not broken. It just popped out the item into the barrel actually, so that's fine. But yeah, you can see that this now accepts wildflowers and dandelions, so I can throw as many as I want on them. Whole stacks, doesn't matter, just throw it in, and it will get picked up by the hopper and flow into the chest. So you don't really need a hopper here. You can also just have a water stream, but basically any items that go over top it, they will fall through the barrel if they are allowed. If I throw on some grass or whatever, some other blocks, it's not accepted because it has a whitelist now. If I turn this to reject mode instead, and I throw on my items, they will all be picked up, except those that are on the reject list, and they will just remain on top like this. Now, this is really cool and all, but you can make it even better by, of course, just making an item stream. So you can just set up a few items here, like we will allow the flowers here, and let's get our magic barrel back. So we can just place another one, cauldron, another chest. Let's make it a separate chest. There. So now we can just have in this one instead grass kind of thing. So we have flowers, grass, and then maybe we have at the end just catch all. We can just put a barrel like this. It doesn't really matter. We can just put a regular hopper. But yeah, this is just a catch all just for everything else. And then we can just, of course, make our regular item things. So we can just drop it over here. Let's do this. Give ourselves a pickle. Drop the pickles in there. I'd like to put my sign down here so I can stop the water from flowing. I like to have a little bit more water flowing, so I'll just do it like this. And yeah, well, just have to contain the water, of course. So do some janky sign placement, and I can put the water in here, and that should align the items perfectly. So if I throw in my wildflowers here, it should align, and it fails because I don't give it enough speed. So let's just put up another water stream here, just so it's a bit more consistent. Okay, and just drop this here, water in there, and we throw in the dandelion lines, and it fails again. Apparently I don't know how to set these things up. This worked before. Let's see if it's maybe it's maybe it's directional now. It's only 2 pickles. Maybe it's only 2 pickles. There we go. So it's only 2 pickles you have to put down. So yeah, you can just put the items and they will get filtered through. And you can see that these are going in. So we can just drop all our flowers there. Everything else should also get filtered through. And if we have any grass or whatever, okay, tall grass is not actually added to the list. We can add it to the list real quick. So tall grass. And we grab a few more of those, of course. And we throw them in. Then we could see that it's exactly as a hopper system. Everything else gets thrown in here. All the flowers go in here, and you can put in, well, 26 items to filter in or filter out, and they ignore any NBT. So if I give myself grass, custom name equals test or something, it's called short grass now, isn't it? Keep changing the names, but even if there is different data on it, it still accepts it and filters it through. So yeah, that's also a very simple and cool little data pack. Yeah, if you break these barrels in survival, you will just get them back again, so you can just don't worry about it. It's fine. So you can see here's my magic barrel, and I can put it down somewhere else, and break it again if I need to. And yeah, so I can just use these magic barrels to make item filters. Really simple, and it also gives you the option to filter them in or filter them out. And this is generally pretty nice, I would say, for compact storage. You don't have to just filter out one item at a time and make huge storage. You can just early game you can just put like all flowers together and all grass instead of having a single chest for each. So yeah, that is magic barrels. Let's just drop all the items in here. Call that a day, I don't care. And then we come to another one that is actually not used for survival really, but it's just a tool, and it's called function locate block. And locate block is a macro which allows you to locate a specific block in a 50 block or so radius. So we have our locate biome, of course, and locate structure. Unfortunately, it can be hard, for example, if you're not very used to bastions layout. So we can, for example, say TP in nether in, or execute in the nether, run TP as there. So we just go to the nether real quick, and we say locate structure bastion or something, and we go to the bastion, and we have no clue where the chests are. So we could just go around and try to find all the chests and go into spectator, but there's so many holes in the walls that it can be quite tricky to find. So what you can do is you can just call function locate block, and then you give it some arguments. The only arguments you really have to give is block ID. So you can just give it like chest, I think, and that should work. And it should find all the chests nearby. So we already found one chest, so we can just teleport to it, and we can see here it is, and we can destroy that chest. We can go to the other one. That's the same one actually. It found the same one twice, but that's fine. And here's another one, and we can break that one, and we can say locate block again with the chest to see if there's any other chests around. It will take a bit, but then if it finds it, you can just teleport there, and find its loot. So you can just yeah, use this to locate certain blocks around. I like to use it on bastions because I still have no idea, and it also tells you when there is no results, so it will tell you so. Um, yeah, so gold block, we know there's gold blocks around, but it tells you um, all the gold blocks that are nearby. And for some reason the first one always duplicates, but yeah, that's just a small little bug I'll probably have to fix. But as you can see, it should tell you that there's a gold block right here, so we can say like fill -3, -3, -3, 3, 3, 3, air, replace, blackstone, polished blackstone brick or something. Yeah, so we can just see that there is gold there, and it will just locate those blocks for you. If there's a lot of blocks, like blackstone, we can see what happens. It will take a bit, of course, because it needs to check every single block in an area, and it's gonna take a while. You can see there is 419 pages, so yeah, it will be ordered from lowest Y level to highest Y level, so you can just click through these and see every single blackstone bricks, polished blackstone bricks. And you can just click through all of these pages. If you want to skip through a page real quick, you can also just use function logb print slash page show page. Okay, it's a bit tricky, but you can give it a page number, so like 418 or something, and it'll go to like the last page. It's zero index, so of course it will add one to it. So yeah, and this is the last page, and that's the highest block. Yeah. So as you can see, they're ordered by XYZ kind of. There's not really the best ordering to it, but it's a bit tricky to sort. But usually you wouldn't want to use this for when there is so many results, but for blocks that are not as common, like a gold block or chest or something that you are trying to look and cannot find. Of course, blackstone bricks, there's so many around. They're not so hard to find. Anyway, let's go back to the overworld. And we'll probably need to go back home somewhere. And yeah, continue with the next thing. So we have our data pack list. So to show what I have already, we have the mob capture, the barrel filter, and the locate block. And those are just 3 standalone data packs. They're really simple to use, and they work all together and whatever. And you can customize them as you want, of course. But the final one is called Take It Easy. And the goal of this data pack was to also make a few things more easy, but also to just yeah, make it more fun in multiplayer. I originally named it multiplayer tweaks or whatever, but I decided to make it a bit more general. But you can just show yourself all the available modules with MPT list, and it's module based, since maybe you don't want everything on, or maybe you do want everything on, and you can just disable separate things as you wish. So it's a bit easier also to manage. It's only a single data pack, but you can still disable or enable separate parts, except for the recipe tweaks, because there's no way to enable or disable recipes while running, unless it's its own data pack, of course. So in this data pack, we have something called item magnet. So we can just get a few items here. So normally the item has to be within 1 block or so, 1.4 blocks, for you to be able to pick it up. And if it's below you, actually, it's even less. So I can pick up this one, but I cannot pick up that one. And above you, well, if you can see here, you cannot pick up blocks through the roof. Also here, I cannot pick up this one through the roof. It's still there. But yeah, the item magnet is when you shift, it will magnet items further away. So if an item is up to 2 blocks away, 2.5 blocks I think or so, 2 blocks, 2.5, yeah, you can also adjust the range yourself, but you can pick up blocks from further away. So also if I go through the ceiling here, 1 block is too far, but half a block is plenty. And also if they're below you, can see that if I shift, I can pick these up, I can pick that one up, but as soon as it's more than 2 blocks below you, you cannot pick it up even with shift. This is very useful because I feel like the range is a bit short. Sometimes I'm mining blocks that are just a bit out of reach, and then the items just fall, and I can't get them. So yeah, this is especially easy if there's like a some block gap and you're trying to go on the edge and grab something that's just on the other side. Yeah, so this is just a little thing. You can also adjust and put this only on the trinket, so you have to craft some trinket and put it on you to be able to magnetize items like that while holding shift, but I just enabled it globally so you can just shift to grab items. So another thing that I added here is a little convenience for creating torches. So there is of course the recipe with coal and with charcoal, so we can just create with a crafting table, we can just create torches. Now I increased the input for charcoal to 8 torches from 4, and for coal actually to 16 torches. Reason being, I always run out of coal. I have to light up huge caves, and after caves and cliffs, I just kept running out of coal. You go to deep slate level, there's no coal anymore, and it's just really annoying to really stack up on torches every time. They only stack up to 64. I place them around, I run out, and I have to craft more. Usually I carry some wood on me. It's just a hassle just to craft torches all the time. So this now crafts a whole stack with just 4, so it makes it a bit easier. Furthermore, if you really run out of coal and you're really deep underground, you might find mine shafts to get wood, but there is no easy way for coal unless you smelt the logs into charcoal, and it's just a whole ordeal. So another option is to just throw sticks into lava, and they will turn into torches. So if I throw away these torches and I throw this sticks into lava, you can see that it will produce torches. So yeah, you have to be quick and pick them up, because if you leave them in lava, they will burn again. But this is an alternative method to just get 1 torch per stick, and it is maybe not the most efficient way, but it's definitely a good pinch if you need some torches to light up the cave and you don't feel like wasting coal or whatever. So yeah, then on to the next thing, and that is more stackables. The more stackables module of the Take It Easy is actually allowing you to do this. Yeah, look at that. Enchanted books that are stacked. This only works, of course, if the enchantment is the same, but this is super useful if you're looting and your inventory keeps filling up. So I need a bundle for this, but I can just like, I have a saddle, and normally this is all unstackable, and I just collected a bunch of loot, but now I can just put it in the bundle, and it's now a lot of unstackable items that is just cleaned up from my inventory. And this is just super useful for being able to bundle things, but also just there is no reason, in my opinion, for saddles or golden horse armor or music discs especially to be unstackable. So a lot of things I've changed to 64 to stack as 64, as it's not really that useful. But for example, I made horse armor, saddles, and enchanted books only stack up to 16 because they're either bulky or they're like armor kind of, or they have some like gameplay implications, or because they're just similar to other things like signs and yeah, boats of course are bulky. And buckets already used to stack to 16, so I just kind of gave every item either stackable to 64 or to 16 based on yeah, gameplay. So you can see you can also stack lava buckets or whatever. Do note, of course, that if you do place or get a bucket of lava initially, it will not be stackable, but as soon as it enters your inventory, it will turn stackable. So if I actually just do this, actually wrong, do this, so it won't stack with the rest of my items because the tag is only applied after you pick it up. So do keep this in mind for everything that's normally unstackable. It will be initially unstackable, but as soon as it turns into your inventory, it will be stackable. And also just holding it in your cursor will make it stackable for any items you might want to pick up. There is still items that are not stackable, still not stackable, and that's things that have damage, like all these armor and whatever. But also Totems of Undying because of gameplay reasons, and Book and Quills because we don't want to mess up our books too much. It makes no sense that you're writing a whole stack of books. You like hold this book in your hand and you're writing text in there, and just the whole stack just gets written into. And of course, bundles and shulkers because of their special behaviors and not being able to pick each other up and whatever. And this wouldn't interfere with that system as well. And also be cautious that vanilla behavior does not allow bee nests to be bundled unless they're empty. So these are empty beehives, no bees inside. But as soon as there is one bee or more bees inside, they do stack. They do absolutely stack. However, you can only bundle one of them, and that's just some hard-coded vanilla behavior, and so you cannot really change that, unfortunately. But yeah, for the rest, it just adds stackable items, and it's just so much more convenient to deal with things like minecarts, boats, or any loot that you might find, and you're just annoyed that you can't bundle them or anything. Well, you can bundle them, but only one single item, and this just cleans up your clutter in your inventory so much, and it's just a must-have for me, honestly. So yeah, we have the item magnet, lava torches, more stackables. We also have the hearts display, very simple. Tab list just shows hearts of all the players. Um, yeah, I just thought it was nice. And then finally is personal warps, not the least though. However, this is a really cool little mod thing where we can just simply um, place a sign and warp to it later. So if we say, hey, this is my home, you put it on the first line, that's very important, on the front side, because if you don't put it on the front side, it won't work. You can dye it, you can glow ink it, and then you stand on the sign, and you say trigger set warp. And that will just set a warp location. And now you can just say trigger list warps to show those list location. And you can see it has exactly those colors. It shows you where it is. So you can also just say set warp anywhere else. However, then it will not have any name associated with it. So it will just show up like this. But to teleport to it, you can just click on it. So we can click here, or click there to just quickly teleport to those locations. This is also very convenient for a single player or casual private multiplayer server where you just want to get around to places. You can get there. And every player has their own separate warps, so they will not interfere with each other. However, there is currently no way to share warps with each other, so you all have to manually go on the sign and register the warp with set warp. If you want to remove a warp, you can use del warp, and you have to use the number that's next to it. So if I say 1 or 2, I can remove 2, and if I list the warps up, now you can see that it's indeed removed. Another option is to rename a warp. So I might not want to, I may be far away, I might not want to warp there, but the name is a bit messy, so I can say home base 1, for example, and I already have like a home base location set, but I want to say home base 2 and give it a red color and say set warp. So now I have home and home base 2. It's a bit unclear, so I can just go here, give it the coloring I want, and instead of set warp, I can say rename warp set 1 because we want to rename warp 1, and boom, it will change home to home base 1. And if we now list the warps, it will just show you exactly those things. If you want to change the color to white, for example, or black, well, it's by default it's already black. And if you set a warp, trigger set warp on a black one and on a white one, you can see that it's inverted. And that's just for convenience because the default text on the sign is black, but default color in a chat is white, and it's a bit difficult to read. Otherwise, if you can see, the white one is a bit difficult to read. So yeah, you can just use the inverted colors. If you don't like it, there is an option to invert the colors. I won't go over that, but you can just look in the pack for that. If you glow ink them and list them. You can also see that black is actually black and white is actually white. So the colors are not inverted unless they're absolutely default. So the default for signs is of course black text, and this would be annoying in chat. So being able to just have that inverted basically to a light color in chat just makes it easier to read. But feel free to use any colors or just turn off the inversion to change that. So to warp, you can also just call trigger warp, and then you need to put in the number you want it warp to. So you can warp to 7 or warp to 4, but it's easier to just list out the warps and then just teleport around exactly where you want to go. But yeah, that option exists and is fully customizable. The signs also furthermore do not need to exist anymore, so if you just destroy the sign, you can still teleport to that sign. It also works cross dimensions, so if you have some warps in different dimensions, you can just warp there directly from any dimension to any other dimension. And that is about it. That's all the features that I created in those data packs. So I can list them again for you. We have the mob capture with the lead, the barrel filter for filtering items, and we have the locate block for allowing function locate block to locate blocks with block being your block ID. So we can say chest, and it will take a while, but it will find all the chests around here. You can see there's quite a few. And of course we have the take it easy data pack, which with function mpt list we can list out everything, all the modules that exist. You can also disable them by just clicking on them. So now stackables are turned off. So if we list them now, we can say more stackables are turned off, meaning any already stackable items will remain stackable. However, if you have any newly unstackable items, so I can just drop this lava bucket down, should make them unstackable. You can see they are still stackable because the bucket component, I guess, is having it stackable. However, if I give myself water bucket 2 times, you can see that these should be unstackable. They are not, and that's probably because we have to reload. So after you disable the packs, you must do a reload, otherwise it will not work. So you can see now they are indeed unstackable. Should also work for the lava. There we go. So those are now unstackable. So you can turn off these modules and do a reload. Just make sure that any existing items will remain stackable like so. And as soon as you enable it again by clicking here to enable and you reload it, it's of course possible to stack them again. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Then I will now go over how to download these things. I will probably just leave up a download on the video here. I might add them later to a GitHub. I might support them. I might not support them. It's just a little convenience pack, and I wanted to show you this. Maybe it will be useful to you. Maybe you learned something. Do note that all these packs are made for vanilla Minecraft 25W09B, and I cannot guarantee that they work in any other version or any modded version or any server or whatever. Well, it might work on vanilla server. I do support that, but do not use any other server. I cannot guarantee it will work. However, I might keep it up to date. I might not. I just wanted to get this out there and for you to have fun with and play with and customize it. Yeah, well, that's all, and I hope you are having a nice day.